Yo, what is going on, everybody? Here we go. Ender, congrats on winning the replay analysis. Hope this is helpful. We got a 1v1 today, guys. This is going to be interesting. So 1v1 replay analysis from Ender here. And they are, in this replay, Diamond 3 Division 4. So probably right by champ, because you only need like one win, really, per game, like per rank division to get the win into the next division. There's 4-1, so it's pretty good like that. That's great. Great counter. And again, the question you always ask yourself here, guys, did the opponent overcommit? Yeah. And in ones, it's hard not to overcommit. And if you look at players who are really good at not overcommitting, you're looking at the top tier players. For example, Moxie. Moxie's really good because they never really overcommit. Yeah, nice. Good choice. Yep, really good choice. Nice and quick here. Obviously, we're just going to watch this now for the first bit, see what's cracking. It's a high-scoring game, guys, and it will be because it's ones, usually. But we're going to see what's going on just in general, and then we'll poke a little closer. Nice power shot there on the bounce. Look at that. Wave dashes, too. Mechanically looking really good here, Ender, to be fair. Really decent. Nice kickoffs, which are so important, and this is a really strong start. Going off the air, the wall there, into the air. Nice central position. Yeah, and what you'll see, guys, if you've not played ones before, and let's say you're more of a twos player, usually like Diamond, like basically Champ 1 to Champ 2 in ones is usually GC to GC, high GC2, even low GC3 in twos. In fact, I remember when I was doing that road to Grand Champ modern era in 1v1 with like just chilled out principles. When I got to, I think it was Champ 3 Div 3 here on the channel in ones, it was tough because you're playing SSLs, and in some situations you're playing high SSLs or you're playing ones mains. So you really are playing against the top, like, bit of a percent of the whole player base. So you're right there with some of the best players in the world. So it's very difficult. As you can see, one little mistake should always be a goal in ones. And I like to use ones as a style to craft into twos. You know, if I'm getting scored on a lot, am I committing a lot? And if I'm overcommitting a lot, will I end up doing that in twos? And if I'm doing that in twos, how's that going to affect my teammate? You see? So, oh, beautiful. With a give and take, the drop and go. Love to see that. They stopped and they just went round them. That is exactly what you want to do. A nice lateral movement. I'm really loving the dribbling here, and really, really nice. Of course, ones, always a difficult mode for a kickoff. So there is one for Dommed. Speaking of Doms, I got Doms, man. I tell you. Did some Bulgarian split squats today. 6-second delay, you know, eccentric, 6 seconds. And then did a bit of upper body yesterday. So I know the feeling. Here we go. Good little fake. Okay, are we pushing? Now this is where you ask yourself, am I pushing too hard? And then it's like, well, am I backing off too far? It's a tough game, ones. Tough game. Nice take. Really, really nice take. Now, I wouldn't say ones is my forte. You know, I mean, I've peaked at almost Grand Champ 2 in ones back in the day. Hit Grand Champ in ones. Oh, I don't know. Not too much. Probably for a total of 5 or 6 seasons. And then recently, the best I got to was Champ 3 Division 3, which was done on YouTube here. Before, obviously, bot seasons and DDoS seasons that we've had. And I'm lucky that might be an own goal. But, you know, I'll try my best. You know, usually I'm not very good at ones, but I would try my best to help you out, usually from a strategic standpoint. But ones, you really have to have a good kickoff, and that is definitely something I'm not particularly great at. But it's like knowing the theory behind it, but actually pulling off can sometimes be tricky. So this is good. Not allowing an easy way through. And here we go. Pushing up. Good boost grabs. 5-5 here. Close game. But this is good because you want to see this from your opponent. You want to see them just doing the air dribble to nowhere. What I'm seeing here is a little bit too much activity when we don't necessarily need the activity. So more so, I would look at paying more attention to what my opponent's actually doing. Because sometimes it feels like we're watching them here, we're dragging them back, yeah. And then here, that's a great shot. That's a great save. But it feels like there are times that we're dropping into watching the ball as opposed to watching the opponent. Good 50. Like there you were clearly watching the opponent. Well played. Good. Good shot from Doms. A little bit casual there. A backflip would have been the way to go if you're going to do that. But you really just want to jump up and play it to safety earlier. You know, it's one of those fine lines. We want a bit of extra control, right? And then all of a sudden, it's gone. Okay, nice. So have they actually got these aerials? They got the flip reset there. Yeah, they haven't. Easy open net there. Unlucky on the shot, but keep going, and then big fake. Get closer before that fake if you want to sell it. Yeah, that should be a goal. Nicely done, well played. Yeah, they got caught. They got caught out of position there, so really good to take it around them. One thing I would just say as well is let's not necessarily push the ball direct to net every time. Can we create a little bit more? Be careful here. Be real careful. You're on 0 boost. Oh, wow, they gave you it. Can we take that? Can we take that away? You know, do we have to fight fire with fire always? Or can we take the ball away? Something to look at. Okay, nice boost grab. Well played. Stick around here. Stick around. That's it. Intimidation. Stick around. Slow down. Yeah. What I would say when you're doing these shadows, mess around with your pace a little bit. Because your distance management's really good. So you can probably dip back a little bit to go forward and go forward to dip back. It just makes you a little bit less predictable if you're messing around with your pacing. The flip reset of doom, you know. Flip resets is, you know, people love them. I swear, if everyone who goes for a flip reset in most ranks, apart from like really high level, just went for an air dribble or an air dribble bump or an air dribble 50, they would be scoring so much more. It's the flip resets that really get you, because most of the time people are getting these flip resets blind and yeah, a little bit too casual wide here. And it's just so interesting that as soon as we stop with fundamental play, we open up that goal side position. It is over and out. Yeah, difficult that we spotted that a little bit late. Forced to take the 50, give up the space. Dom's on the ball. And let's get up into the hover. Let's hover this. Let's hover. Okay, that's fine then. There's no point. It is over. Right, let's have a little look at this then. What could we do more of? What could we do less of? And it was a very hot start here. So kickoff-wise, decent contact. I think you're going to know how to do the kickoff here. Good, you took it back. And this is key. You took it back to get more space. Just be aware, like here, you don't have to go 1,000,000 miles an hour. All right? So you get this. Use your camera, yeah? And so you should be calm now, because you've just seen in your camera that the opponent is all the way over here. So we don't have to be boosting like a madman. To be honest, this is one of the few occasions I may not even touch this ball. But if I do, it's going to be into the middle really softly. So it sort of rolls across here and sets up the grab into the next bit of play, because you've got so much time. And remember, don't just check the camera to, you know, say, oh, I checked the camera. What did you find? You know what I mean? No point just checking it. What do we find? Because this is now erratic. We're not in control of the play. And you're obviously a very good player. You know, I don't know what your 2's rank is. I don't know, maybe GC2 or something. I have no idea. But you're obviously a very good player. And this shows how good you are. Because you jump here, you get on the inside. Now, I'm not sure if this was an accident, if I'm being completely honest with you, because you do jump, but you get stuck on the curve. Boom, there. So, which helps you, because you end up on the inside position. And I'd like to see more of this, because your goal in ones is to get around the opponent. If you look at what made Raid so good when he did the Road to SSL No Mechanics on this channel, you know, and it's one of those series that no one ever talks about it. And Raid was such a good player, and he played in a no mechanic style that I actually think is more attainable than anyone else's. Flakes, you'd have to be really good at power slide cuts, whereas Raid did it in a way where you can see how brilliant he is, but at the same time, you know, it's very smart how he's doing it. He's basically outplaying the opponent. That's his goal. If it's a flick around them early, or it's just like a 50 on the inside, that's his goal. So we've took the 50 on the inside, you've got the overcommit, and then basically you're battling the open net. And that strategy that was used many years ago is still really powerful today. What you do see if the defenders are defending the net now is you want to use a lot of jabs and stuff like that. So good kickoff, good boost grab, good 50. Okay, a little bit stiff here. We could have grab this, and then maybe, like, you could like, grab this. You could square into the play here to see if he's going to go, and then square out of the play here. Or you could square in, see that he's, like, going around it, knowing he's screwed, by the way. Jump up, rotate your car to the side, and do a side flip. Okay, so you do have options there. But this works, but just be wary of that. Just know that. I mean, yeah, the right decision to put something on net, and it's a goal. Because why? What have you done? You've got it past the opponent. They've overcommit. You're dealing with the open net. The spins may not be required because it actually fluffs your touch if we're being, real. A lot of people get obsessed with this. But if you just lean back now, Monkey Moon, and you just go up, and you just touch that there, like with your nose, that's flying in. But, yeah, I get it. Don't get me wrong. Could have been a little bit miscontrol, and you want to get yourself back. Again, kickoff, we can't complain. There's another kickoff goal and a nice finish. Really hot start here. And good kickoff again. Nice central contact. Okay, so we've got the lead here. There's a couple of things we can do. I don't know how confident you are in the air. I don't know how, clinical you are in the air. But there's a couple of things we can do. We can look back at styles such as Fairy Peak, where Fairy Peak would get on the inside of the ball, come down with it, maybe look for a 50 if they were diving, or be close enough that if they now turn and go, we'd now jump off the wall and take it. Or if they don't, we'd now create an angle for a lateral dribble. Or we can go modern era, off the wall, and so on and so forth. But what we've got to remember is where the ceiling is as far as development. And I think that's really important because what a lot of people, they don't really consider this. Let's just do a little bar chart here. Okay. So if you imagine, let's go back 5 years ago when you had players like apparently Jack, O'Khalid, and apparently Jack's still doing really well. O'Khalid, Fairy Peak, I'm just trying to think, First Killer. Okay. They were like ruling the roost. There's probably some players I've missed there, but it's just off the top of my head. Now, what I want you to think about, if you go back in time 5 years, would you be able to beat them? Would you be able to beat 5 years ago O'Khalid? No. All right? No, we wouldn't. Because if you took 5 years ago old Khalid and put him in today's game, he's going to get SSL easily because he's got so many great weapons. Now, what we've done here as a community is we've took... So if you imagine, right, so you talk about fundamentals. Let's just do an F here. Fundamentals. Out of 100. You look at those old players. All right, well, I say old players, but players from 5 years ago. Like I say, Khalid, Abjack, First Killer, Flakes, whatever. Their fundamental mechanics are really, really, really high. Really, really high. They've got the defense, the ground dribbles, they got the aerials, but basic aerials, double touches and stuff like that. And then, right, they had so much of this good stuff, they thought, well, listen, why don't we really start to develop the extras? The flip resets, the doubles, the triple, So they start adding this really advanced level of mechanics, the pre-flips into the flip reset, into the rapid reset, the backboard plays, blah, 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 blah. Okay? And they added their, mechanics onto this. I mean, they already had mechanics here. Let's not kid ourselves. But what I'm saying is they were in such a high, powerful position, and then they developed what they could, which was their skill ceiling, because their floor was really high, because they had such good fundamentals. Now, what's happened as a community? We watch these pros now. We watch Moxie. We watch, I'm trying to think, was it Jan? Literally, I can see him. Oh, what's his name? Not Killers. Oh, this is going to bug me. I do apologize. The person who won RLCS 1v1. Oh my God, from the Falcons. It's just escaping me. But we look at these guys and we forget that they've got all of this. And when we watch them, we see their tendencies. Because they've got so much of this, they try and get, this can be matched because the other guy's got the 100 as well. So they're matching each other. So they're trying to bring their ceiling up. And they really need to pop off because the defense is so good now. So they're really trying to use this extra level of sauce to score. And when we watch this as a viewer, we see, oh, he's gone off the wall and he's done this. So we basically have fundamentals. So our F, okay, is like here. It's like 60. So we got 60 and we're filling it with 60. And what we should be doing is spending the majority of our time here. And when I say fundamentals, guys, I still mean air dribbles and air dribble bumps and stuff like that, but just the basic wall plays, all right? That's where we should be filling our time to try and get to that 100 level and then start adding on top of it. But what we do is we get to 60 and then we start going, oh, yeah, I like that move. I'm going to start adding it on. So we start adding this on here, right? And let's say these guys are, that it's ever going up, but let's just say the pros are on 80. Let's just, for ease, it will always go up. Okay, so we start adding maybe 20 to this. But the problem is we're building this on imperfect fundamentals. So for example, people who are doing rings, they might have the ability to complete rings better than first killer, but in the actual air with a ball, they're not even close. They're pale in comparison. So what you're doing here is basically you've built a house and you've got a really weak foundation, like there's gaps in your brickwork and it's all falling over. And then you're like, let's build a penthouse suite on top of it. Well, you know what's going to happen, don't you? That's going to collapse. And this is how a lot of people are playing. They're building things on top of a weak foundation. And that is how I often see the game, which is why I tell people you don't need so much aerials. So here, this is a great idea, but do we really have this to be able to take that slow control ball and do a good offensive play? It's just something to consider. I'm not saying don't do them completely. I'm just saying let's just think about what we're doing on the broader scheme there. So here, it's a good little play there. And I would just say jump up into this and just dodge now. Dodge, 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 dodge. Because you've got to match the height of the ball. Okay, so when they come here and they get this flip, boom. On that bounce, you should jump with the ball here. Jump like this and then into it. Because that way you'll always be reaching the ball. Sorry if I went off on a little bit of a random one there, guys. Yeah. Couple of things you can do here. So you can flash the position. Let's see what this guy sees. He sees you're on the floor, so he's going to be quite confident here. Because the reason he can be confident is that, right? He can actually dunk you and do all this stuff because you're making this guy do his last chance play when he's already recovered. Okay, so if you look at this, right? The best time to throw someone out of an aerial is when they start it. If you're on the backboard, or so if you went up here, flash this position, go up onto the ceiling and maybe just come and challenge it, but basically show him early or even quickly power slide in into a hover, force him low, and as he goes low, you come down and sort of like land on this. That's great because you're interrupting him fairly early in a safe manner. What you don't necessarily want to do always is wait for them to completely botch it where they're actually now able to, even if he doesn't dunk you, notice he's recovered and he can backflip and he's back into the game. Now, we're all, have a tendency of doing this. But what I would say here is if you are going to do this, you cannot be polite about it. So once you know someone's botched their aerial, now we know he's botched it. And if you are going to do this, you need to really go into this, jump up, again, turn sideways, match the height of the middle of the ball and side flip into it. Force this through them. The reason we want to do that is when you take this jab here, right? It's soft and it hits it into the opponent, boom, boom, okay? But if we were to flip into them on the moment of contact, we're driving that ball into them. They're landing on it, but they're weak. So they're going to bounce off the ball. And that's going to help a lot. So do be a little bit, because you score an own goal later on in a similar fashion to this, do be a little bit more aggressive in your save. Go into that. Don't look for jabs against these players landing on the ball. But you could have gone up and put a fake in there, but that's actually fine because he's clearly botched it. And just be aware of it. I just wanted to point that out. You didn't have to go up there. What you did was fine, but just make sure you're flipping. Here you're nosing, right? So, okay, fair enough, we don't get it. And he's on the ball. Okay, can we slow down here? Use our boost here. So we're coming in this angle, like this. behind him. So if he shoots it down there, we're now behind him, but we're safe. And if he doesn't, we can just jump into it and like try and push it up, like sort of glance it up the wall just to waste time. What you've done here is you've nosed towards the wall. So you'll see you turn your nose, which is really dangerous defensively. Because even if you hit this, you're not going to be able to do anything with it. Like here, you see what I mean? You're reaching. He's stretching you as a defender, which is exactly what you want to do to the opponent. And that's a goal. And that turn there, could you have got back in time? Nah, probably not. And that's why it's so important, and it goes back into that play. And you learn this specifically in ones. If you are going to challenge someone, you need to be positioning before you make that like challenge. The positioning should be good. Should be the side of the car's hitbox, matching the height of the ball, etc., etc. Otherwise, move with the ball. Good kickoff again here, or not terrible, I should say. See, that's okay because you've got more space. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, that makes more sense because he's not like landing. So I really like the fact that you take a soft touch, you get nice and close here, you do a little hesitation. And if you look at what he's thinking, this is what makes this so powerful. First of all, he's going for stuff on top of a weak foundation. And again, these guys are GC2 and stuff. They're not bad players at all. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying they're probably modeling their game after stuff they're seeing on YouTube or pro games. And they forget that these guys have already mastered that and they're adding on top of it. And this is what's wrong with the community. You've got diamonds, not in ones, but in twos. They're watching Zen, and they've got the, no offense to these players, they've got terrible fundamentals, and they're trying to do flip resets, and they wonder why they can't rank up, and they wonder why there's a level of frustration in this game that has never been seen before, and there's a level of toxicity in this game that has never been seen before, because people have been led down the wrong path. They're watching pros and they're trying pro stuff. This is the equivalent of watching Michael Jordan, and all you see is the reverse layups and the dunks. And you don't see the footwork. You don't see the dribbling, the handoff, the passes, the structure. And you just think you're going to go in there and learn a few 360 layups and become the world's best player? No, you're not even going to get out of the D-League. You know what I'm saying? So this is how important it is. To be in the NBA, you don't need to be a fancy player. Jokic, yeah, best player in the world. He's not the world's most fancy player, but he's got the best fundamentals. And it's the same with this. So if you're modeling your game after a flashy player, don't delude yourself by thinking that their game's built on flash and not fundamentals first. That's all I would say. But this is great. So what they did, Dommed, is they tried to attack you when they should have been defending. They try to reverse into you, and that's why you can slip through them. You'll often see this concept throughout the game. In general, it's usually that it's basically all comes down to overcommits and kickoffs, unfortunately, in one. So another kickoff goal there. A great kickoff for yourself this time. Right, when you're in this sort of position, it's awkward. You've gone here, you've won this kickoff, you feel you've won, and you've just slipped yourself. Just take the ball back. Just take this ball back to the corner. Because what you don't have time to wait for this ball to come back, because this guy's not in a terrible position. It's the front on kickoff, so he's going to have a lot of boost. So if you do that, you are going to get dusted. And now, what are you going to do? Boom, you're going to overcommit. But the play was lost, because obviously you want to take it to there, but the play was lost when you didn't take this back. You could just shoot this with even a front flip up that wall and go grab that corner boost. Just do something. It isn't going to be great for you, but what you're doing now is you're getting deeper and deeper. And you're starting to really get deep here as a player with low boost, and this could be bad. And I like that you recognize that and give yourself some space. Good fake. Good play. Really good job. Yep, good rug pull again. Yeah, so, does this seem familiar? It's exactly the same play. He stops his car and he backflips. That last time he didn't even have a chance to backflip because you managed to get an angle to your dribble earlier. But he's tried to attack you as a defender without being set. And this is the way the game is in twos as well. People are attacking before they're set. Another reason for this is because most players, the highlights of pros that they see and the big goals are from 3v3, where players tend to, obviously it's the pro lobby, so their position is brilliant. By the way, I watched, who did I watch last night? They were brilliant. Gen G. Oh my God, they were good. Magic Bear. The passing plays. Or Tragic Bear. Absolutely brilliant. I can't remember what his name. No, Magic Bear. My bad. But yeah, really, really good. So, okay, let's go back to this. So, much better. You match the height of the ball, you do the side flip. A little bit. Now, up more. Because you don't want him to go up, because now he can land on you. Wham! You know, he can look for you. It makes it awkward. So here, okay, whenever someone's coming across here, come here. Like this. And then what you want to do is you either want to wait here, and as they come down, you come down and pinch, or you're here like this, and now you can come off and away, and there's a goal. Just a little tiny defensive change. Let's just go back to this. Yeah, see how you've squared up to it? And then, like, you see how you've reversed? That's why. Notice the last 2 goals. Well, because the opponent reversed. Now you've reversed, it's a goal. All right? Because we're trying to aggress someone in control of the ball. And if we're going to do that, we have to have our positioning tight. We have to have the timing right. And it's hard to do. It doesn't come overnight. That's going to come with a lot of in-the-moment game sense. As opposed to like positional awareness. Because look, he's done it again, right? He gets away with it because he's on high boost. But he's still scrambling. And it has allowed you to break free. Nice push. Okay. I would try and slip this. If you can, don't get contact on this because you've screwed him with the boost grab. So I know it's coming at you fast. You can do a couple of things here. You can actually side flip really quickly to let it roll through. Grab this, then gather here. Do you know what I mean? Just try not to allow that to be blocked necessarily. Good job. Unfortunately, we can get back to net. Turn. Turn here if you can. Power slide. Like one thing we're seeing here is there's a lot of stop and go. So you're here, boom. Okay, you get the touch. Okay, not ideal. He's turned, right? Boom. So you can roll through here like this and then get in line, but now you're facing away, which is much easier. Or you could, we go back to this. Where are we? Coming in here and he does this. We can jump, which will freeze him from attacking. And then all we got to do is do like an air roll and face the other way. It does allow him the ability to attack, but just keep that in mind. Okay, chase him down. Go on, chase him down. Okay, I think you're missing a trick here, personally. I think this is a really good opportunity for defending from behind. Remember, his house has a bad foundation. So, why? Because he's not pro. That's all we have to think. He's going for the backboard Diaz play. Do we believe he can hit this? I don't. I'm right under here. People are going to say I'm stupid, okay? But the reason is because he doesn't know where you are. So now he's looking for you and he doesn't know where you are. And I'm underneath tracing this guy because I know he's not going to pull this off. And as I get to supersonic and land, he's out. Or I can get under his car, trip him out, take the ball back with me. The way you've done it isn't bad, but because you're here, there is a high percentage chance that he can roll through and demo you by accident. But good job getting the boost. Great save. I mean, a risky save. That's why we'd rather take this ball and not give up that space if we can, but fair enough. It happens. Nice pump. Real shame he gets away with this. And he gets the turn. I don't blame you for diving there because the momentum is working in your favor. He is challenging you with the ball in yourself working against him. And here I think you should get up already. Because if he hits this, it could be deadly. So forget looking away. What you want to think now is, what's the difference between you and him? You can control your car. He can't. He's just dodged. He's locked into an animation. You can slow down a bit. Now you could either smash him or preferably you could jump up yourself and take that off the center line. So now he's like beaten. You'd be surprised if you actually look what these guys are looking for. Right? Comes into this position. Jab. And he can't see and he can't see. But imagine by the time he looks out, you're above his head. He's not going to expect it. It's just another way of doing it. Yeah, because here you sort of allow him too many options. Honestly, drop him back and then going up. And you yourself attack your own net, but you put it off to a safe angle. isn't a bad idea at all. Defending from behind. And here, you really need to backflip this. Diagonal to the right. Or just backflip. Might have got away with it. Tough one, though. Yeah, you're going to have to back off. That's fine. So get up here. Do something. You know what I mean? Put him off. We're on the ground. This is too relaxing for him. He's watching you. He's watching you. And then do you know what? Like, obviously he doesn't have these aerials under control, but get up here. Go, 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 go. Match the height of the ball or something. Then come down or come off the ceiling or get a hover going. Like, get your hovers going. Shame about the shot, but that's fine. That's the biggest thing. At least we've created an open net. Fake that. Fake that. These are really hard balls to turn on. This is actually one of the big things I see in these ranks is people will grab the ball, they'll clear the ball, and you're instantly thinking, you know, we've got the ground control of flakes, and we're just going to turn here and just crack that straight back in. Very few players have the ability to do that, but everyone has the fear that could happen. So instead here, what I would suggest is turn and move away. Turn like you're going to hit it again, move away, and you snake yourself away to get map space, because you know he's screwed boost wise. Now we have control of the ball in space. If he's coming after us, we move it around him. And that's good. Yeah. Let's actually look at it from their perspective, because they're low on boost here. You see, they're scared. They are scared. And watch what they do. They try to attack you as opposed to blocking your path. Very interesting, okay? Does blocking the path mean sometimes you'll get demoed and stuff? Yeah, it does. But it's still safer than, you know, often just giving up the path. I mean, that's what people don't realize. Great kickoff. Good play there. Nice try on the wave dash. Good speed from him. Now, just be careful of your boost here. Oh, he's giving you that. That's pretty fortunate. Okay, notice you're on the outside. So, you're on the outside here looking for triangle defending. But he's got 100 boost. You know that. So, triangle defending could be hard. The other thing is, again, is you're under this ball when you're going for it, and he's above it. So one thing I definitely recommend, Ender, is you've got to match the height of the ball more defensively. So personally, again, what I would honestly recommend here, this guy clearly has given himself like too much space from the ball. Slow your car down, okay? Take it away. Then boom, boom, wham. Do you see what I'm saying? The 50s are fine, but you've got to match the height of the ball earlier. My advice is use his, like, think jiu-jitsu. Take his punch and move it through, as opposed to trying to block it. You know, move with it and then strike. Take the energy. Really nice, well played, good interception. Be careful. Yeah, good. Why is that such a good 50? Nice little wave dash too. Because he's turning to attack you. Now here, we know this guy doesn't have these aerials. So here, you're helping him. I would be waiting here. He hasn't had one successful aerial, and this is what you want to be thinking, right? So we're here. When he gets his next touch, I'm sagging off. I'm sagging off a little bit. I'm containing it. I'm owning the middle. And then when he gets this touch here, I'm again, because he keeps being like in the air. Now I take it. I take the possession from him. Because what you're doing with this sort of shadowing is you're giving it back to him. Think more about stealing the ball. Again, have we built this on the right level of foundation? Could we have just shot this into the open net? And that's the sort of things we need to develop here. Not the fact that we can do a flip reset and all that sort of stuff. Is could we just drive up here, drive up. You got a bit of boost here, yeah? Drive up, boost, and just drive. And just drive that in. Just literally hit that with a hook. That's a goal. Or now, obviously just a little bit later, but come off and shoot it. And even here, could we have, instead of doing the theatrics, just touched that again and just scored it? You know, flip resets. Often when people score flip resets, most of the time they would have just scored an air dribble. But they're making it way more difficult. That's good defending from him. Let's have a look at this defending. Why was he successful on that defending? He jumps relatively high to get above or slightly higher than the center hitbox of the ball. So he's matching the height of the ball. and he doesn't attack you. He actually defends, and his defense is into attack because he uses like an angled half flip. So that's really cool. Okay. And I do appreciate some people might want to know more about the kickoff, but I feel like kickoffs have been done to death in this game, so I'm just not going to go over it. I feel like you sold yourself short here, if I'm being honest. Like, you know, get near the ball here. Get near the ball. Because, you know, just, like, own it first. Get near the ball. Now jump and take it with you. Now take it across here. It's much easier to score when you have the ball than it is when you don't, kind of thing. But again, this isn't bad play at all. This is very high level. You know, clearly top percent of the player base. No doubt about it. But it's just a little thing like, are we going to attack? Yeah, exactly. We know he hasn't got that. So again, this should be a demo because you're sort of driving. You're doing too many of these drives here. Ender. Jump, match the height of the hitbox, roll through it with a side flip. Because otherwise you're going to get demoed. Yeah, or bumped. There you go. If you side flipped into that, it would be more volatile, don't get me wrong, but you would be safe. And that's more important. Or if you're really next level, you could, I mean, you could, because he keeps botching these air dribbles, you could just wait a second and then again come from here and then try and sneak this off him from underneath. But I got to say, in all fairness to yourself, really, really good stuff. It's not easy to do this at this level, so really well played there. So, things to consider. Can we think more about taking the ball away? Can we think more about matching the height of the ball? Can we think more about creating map space first? So, for example, if the ball's high, jump up and then hit it. And also, like, consider, you know, if they're struggling in the corner, don't necessarily rotate away. If they look awkward, come from behind, take that ball with you. You know, make it awkward for them. Try and boost off them, bump them from behind, demo them from behind, and then look to create. Another thing I would say as well is try to, when you're creating your offense, like obviously if they just dive in, just like, you know, get that ball around them, but try to limit your boost usage. If you can, like, don't overdo it. Don't push into areas with low boost. Really, you've got to be quite careful coming out of defense because that's where you want to save your boost. So that when you're actually in an offensive situation, you can now use a bit more boost, not only to score, but also if it goes wrong, to be able to recover. So hopefully that helped, that replay analysis. This is actually recorded a little bit after because some reason the audio like cut at the end, really bizarre. It sort of duplicated itself. So I might have slipped. But yeah, thank you so much for sending that in, Ender. I really do appreciate it. I know it's not easy for a lot of people, so I really appreciate you guys sending these replays in for this free competition because you are going to be criticized, okay? You are going to be, you know, your gameplay is going to be there. But just remember, we're all the same. You know, anyone can look not perfect on a replay, and that's okay. That's how we develop. So, guys, thank you so much for the support. Look after yourself, and peace out. Peace, peace. Imagine if rank didn't feel random. If every player on your team knew where to be, what to do, and how to win without panic. That's what we're building. In the next Pacifist System cohort, starting January the 17th, you will join 19 others learning the exact system we use to go undefeated from Grand Champ 1 to Grand Champ 2. Not with speed, but with control, positioning, and restraint. Over the 6-week course, you'll get 36 hours of live group lessons, including drills, scrims, and a team of like-minded players. A private Discord to chat to pacifist graduates from the past and future. Resources that you can keep forever that scale with your ranked improvement. And 6 hours of one-on-one coaching with myself. This isn't just coaching, it's a full system for climbing rank together. Owners of my Rocket League book get 20% off the cost of the course, which means it's actually cheaper to buy the book and the course than it is to buy the course itself. But this is the last time it'll be available at this price. However, even if you can't join this one, you can register now and lock in this price for the next cohort. There's only 20 spots available. To find out more, visit airchargedrl.com.